What's going on, guys? Welcome back to The Wave. The NBA season is officially over, and the Oklahoma City Thunder are the official 2025-26 NBA champions. Congratulations to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jalen Williams, and the entire Oklahoma City organization. Also, shout out to the Indiana Pacers as well for their hard work. Great, came down to Game 7. Definitely entertaining. Definitely huge bright spot. And yeah, we're gonna break down everything. We obviously are gonna cover the everything that transpired tonight. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're gonna start with the Indiana Pacers. Let's get the obvious out of the way first. We all know that Tyrese Halliburton, he got injured in game 7. Right in I believe the first quarter, the very end of the first quarter. He was having a pretty good game. He played 7 minutes, and he had 9 points. He wasn't playing too bad. 3 for 5 shooting. He was playing aggressively for the first quarter, and he obviously went down with that Achilles injury. We'll have more of an update on that later on. But let's go ahead and look at everybody else. Pascal Siakam, he was obviously playing as well as he could. He didn't have the team high, but he had the tie for starters. And he had 16, 5 for 13 shooting, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. He played pretty decently out there. He didn't play his best basketball, but he was definitely contributing where he could. Nesmith only 1 3, but his defense out there was pretty good in the lineups he was in. Miles Turner, they could have seen a little bit more from him, especially on the offensive side of the basketball. Andrew Nembhard had to pick up more of a role this game, and I know I've been saying I wanted to see more out of him. He did have 6 assists, 2 turnovers, not bad at all, 15 points. He played all right. Again, a little bit more left to be desired. Obi Toppin, surprisingly with no scoring, he's usually way more effective. He had his he honestly had his best series, in my opinion, in terms of just an efficiency standpoint. T.J. McConnell again, doing what he has to do. Definitely a guy that they're gonna look to see if they can continue having him on the roster. Mathurin had the team high 24. But if you do pay attention, he also had the lowest box plus minus on the team as well. He did get 33 minutes off the bench, so his scoring kind of did outplay his defense, or his defense outpaced his offense, I should say. And yeah, Ben Shepherd, he had 16 points, but not really too much out there. 4 rebounds, so he was playing some defense, but a turnover and a foul, so not really too much from him in his 16 minutes. So it was just a lot of in bad shooting. I know they shot 41%. They got 70 shots off compared to Oklahoma City's 87. And we're not even talking about the turnover situation. It was literally a 3-to-1 ratio where for every 3 Pacers turnovers, Oklahoma City turned the ball over once. So they couldn't take care of the ball. The fouling wasn't really that big of a deal. It's really the turnover battle. And again, we spoke about this. When the team is taking care of the basketball, not turning it over, Oklahoma City, their offense can look a little stagnant. But when you're giving up 20 steals, 14 steals, and 14 steals, it's not going to work. You're going to need more defense than that. And now let's go ahead and take a look at Oklahoma City. Obviously, the starters, they did their thing out there. Chet Holmgren, he had 18. He actually won the battle against Miles Turner. Miles Turner had only 6, and he was definitely outplaying him, especially tonight. Jalen Williams, again, he's just been doing what he's had to do. 20 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Just doing the 7 for 20 shooting. He's being aggressive out there. Hartenstein with 9 rebounds, 4 assists, no fouls. And 7 points, just doing everything he has to. This is awesome. Shai Gilgeous, he had, again, we spoke about this. It was either going to be Pacers, 4, 5, 6 guys, double figures, or Shai Gilgeous masterclass. We got the Shai Gilgeous masterclass. He went 8 for 27. He hit a couple threes. Um, he almost fouled out of the game, which is whatever, but he had 5 rebounds, 12 assists, and a steal. He was really just filling up the stat sheet. Lou Dort, 9 points, 2 loud threes, 7 rebounds, 3 steals. The starters were just doing everything they had to. Not a lot of guys on the bench got too much minutes, but Caruso with 10 off the bench, allowed 10 as well. Same thing with Cason Wallace. He had allowed 10 as well with +7 on the box plus minus. We have Aaron Wiggins, who had no points, but his box plus minus was pretty good. And the lineups he was out there with, they were on some big runs. There's just a lot left on the table for Indiana, especially that third quarter. We're gonna take a look and see where things kind of went wrong for the Indiana Pacers, and we'll go ahead and take a look, and we'll wrap up the NBA Finals coverage, and we'll see what's going on. I mean, it was definitely an exciting run to the postseason, and we'll see what next year is looking like. But we have a Pacers video coming out soon, just looking at where they should take things. But this is gonna be a good off season, and I'm really excited for it. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of some footage out there. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and take a look at some of the footage where I think things kind of derailed. Obviously, Indiana was winning by 1 point by halftime, and things kind of spiraled left for them in the third quarter. Let's go ahead and take a look. Miles Turner had just hit a 3 from one of the wings. You see they're celebrating with the Yes Sirs banner, and Oklahoma City at home. They walk it down, and they're just gonna. This is just a story of how their offense was. Pascal Siakam overbites on the drive. Shai Gilgeous fakes it and pulls up from 3, and this is where things kind of started rolling for Oklahoma City, and they never really looked back after this. T.J. McConnell, they're able to get a stop. They bring it back down. They do a simple little pick and roll. Nembhard, he's up on him, so he's created space, but he overcommits going into that left, and Shai with another assist. So he's breaking down the defense. The ball goes in, the ball comes out, and open guys are getting found. And that's really just good basketball. The ball touches the paint, comes back outside, collapses the defense. Now we're ready. So now Oklahoma City's already up by 9. We have T.J. McConnell coming down, doing what he has to do. He hits him with the push cross, attacks the lane, and just gets straight to the basket. And again, he was one of the bright spots off the bench, doing what he had to do. But it's about stringing together some stops. We see that Indiana is able to keep it together, and obviously we spoke that T.J. McConnell was going to be a huge X factor. He gets to that spot. He loves to get that little hip check, that little hip connection, so that he can give a little extra bump and pull up. And that's his game. He's made his bread and butter playing like that. Obviously, Oklahoma City was able to string one stop, but Indiana was able to string a stop. But we need to, the Pacers need to find a way to stop Oklahoma City from getting to the basket. They do a simple little screen and roll, a delayed little roll off from Chet Holmgren, and it's like they're just marching in and getting easy baskets. Again, T.J. McConnell, he's your bread and butter right now. He's giving you that extra spark, especially with Halliburton in the locker room right now. And he's literally going in. He's gotten 3 straight buckets, keeping things afloat, stopping the bleeding for this. And they come back down, and it's a 6-point game. The game is by no means over, but it's just an eruption. You see that McConnell catches it on the toss, and then he splits, he rips through, goes the other direction. He's literally on the tear right now. This is reminiscent of Game 6 where they came back and won. So then the question remains, what happened? Well, I can tell you what happened. Oklahoma City happened. They're hitting these easy little screen and rolls. Jalen Williams is attacking downhill. Simple screen off, fake. He looks for the open guy, and again, ball goes in, ball comes out, collapses defense. Somebody's gonna get open. And obviously, when you're not stopping the bleeding, Caruso, they come to do a pick and roll. They put him in jail. They force the steal. Once you're forcing things like this, it's over. You have Cason Wallace coming downhill, and he just goes up for the layup, nice and strong, no foul. Once you have plays like that, there's no beating this team. So once Oklahoma City gets in that mojo where they are just on lockup mode and everything is just getting it just opens up their offense even more. Again, simple screen and roll. Hartenstein trips on his own feet. I think I'm not too sure, but he falls down. Jalen Williams is just able to take it with the left hand and finish strong. And we're already looking at 11 points. We were just fluctuating between. It was just a tie game. Now we're at 11 points. 11 now. That's 13 points. And then we have Shea. Obviously He hit 1-3. We saw when he came down. He just gets to the spot, just dribbles to create that space. They bite for it, and that's his second three. He only had 2 threes, but that was a loud one in the third quarter. And in all honesty, it's just we'll see Indiana get some buckets, but it's just like we've seen T.J. McConnell be the facilitator for all the offense, and it's just it got to a point where it wasn't gonna work. You see Chet with the block, Lou Dort with the steal. With the save, and Oklahoma City, they're just on a march right now. Lou Dort's gonna come here, give a screen to Mathurin, put in McConnell on, and that's who he wants. He just takes that one step, gets downhill. And again, this is what we've been seeing all day. He's just been driving and kicking. It's not him just taking 130 shots every night, So this is the role of offense that we wanted to see from Shea Gilgeous the whole entire time. We wanted to see him get to his own, but also get his teammates involved and do all those other things. As you guys concluded to see, Oklahoma City is the 2025 NBA champions, and it's been a great postseason. It's been really electric, really exciting. They were the favorites coming in, and they it was entertaining. They went to multiple Game 7s, played some good competition, and they rightfully earned that championship. And we were just happy to be alongside covering every step of that. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me on The Wave. This has been your host, Coach Andre, and I am out of here. I am glad to have covered all the finals, but we're on to the next one, and the next season's about to start, so let's get ready for free agency. I've been your host, as always, Coach Andre. Peace out, ciao. I'll see you guys later. It's been exciting, but we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.